What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. One player that's out there that, reports are on right now that the Lakers might be able to acquire is Cam Reddish. Now, I watched Cam Reddish in college and Duke some, and I watched him in the NBA, and I've never been a Duke fan by any means, but he does have a lot of talent, and he does have a lot of talent in a multitude of ways. He can stretch the floor, he can maneuver really well, and he understands basketball, because anytime you play for a coach like Coach K or somebody like that, or Greg Popovich, you're Dean Smith back in the day, you're going to, basketball. You may not be well liked or something like that, but you definitely know basketball. You have an IQ. And I would say his IQ is pretty high because he is one of those type players where, he can definitely contribute to a team in a multitude of ways because he doesn't play defense or anything like that, but he tries. And, on top of that, he would fit good with the Lakers because he's a big body, decent wingspan, and his shooting ability would definitely fit LeBron James' criteria because he can stretch the floor really well. And when you have players who can stretch the floor, you're definitely good in this league because this league is all about shooting. I mean, when you look at the Splash Brothers and the Warriors, the team that just won the championship, it tells you that you need shooters. You need guys who can stretch the floor. You need guys who can, put the ball in the basket in a multitude of ways. You need that. And like I said before, Cam Reddish can give the Lakers that. Now, there again, I don't want to sit here and make it seem like Cam Reddish is the end-all, be-all for the Lakers. I don't want to sit here and say he can make them a championship team because he can't do that. But what he can do, he can give them another dynamic of a shooter and somebody who can, put the ball in the basket, the way he's supposed to, unlike Russell Westbrook. And see, that's mainly what the Lakers are looking at. The Lakers are looking at so many other options right now because they feel like they're going to have to, eat Russell Westbrook's contract and keep him and hold on to him at least another year, or at least until the season is out. And if this season is out, or when the season goes out, then they have an opportunity to get rid of Russell Westbrook. But that's a whole nother season with him, and who knows how that's going to be. It could just be a circus, and it could just be a waste of time, or another wasted season, I should say. So they're trying to find ways to get other pieces around LeBron and AD so they can at least try to, be competitive in the huge, competitive Western Conference that they're in, because the West is just getting so much better. I mean, you got the Suns, even though they folded last year in the playoffs, but they still was a great regular season team. You got the Clippers, it's just looked at as the best team in the league right now to most people. And then you got the Warriors trying to repeat. You got Memphis, even Minnesota with Anthony Edwards. I mean, the Pelicans are going to be decent. You see what I'm saying? The Nuggets are going to be better with Jamal Murray coming back. I mean, it's just so much competition in the West. So you got to try to find a way and find your niche. And the only way that I think that the Lakers can do that is if they try to put some pieces around the guys that they have. Even though they may not be satisfied with Russell Westbrook, you got to keep what you have until you find a way to get rid of them and get something better. So, I mean, I understand what the Lakers are trying to do, but, I'm not sure they'll be able to pull off getting a Cam Reddish. Like I said, I think the New York Knicks are going to try to hold on to him as much as they can, or try to get something valuable for him. They might have to give up somebody like THT or somebody like that to get him, which is probably too much for Cam Reddish. But at the same time, sometimes you got to give up stuff you don't want to get something different or better. And that's the way the Lakers got to look at it. And that's the only way they need to look at it, because that's the only way it needs to be viewed. Because right now, the situation that they're in, it isn't a good one. They got a guy on the roster that they don't want, and on top of that, when you think about the team and the way it's constructed, everybody's really not happy, and it just doesn't seem that way with Russell Westbrook on there. And I understand why, because Russell Westbrook just isn't the player that he was to me, and on top of that, he really doesn't look like he's all in for basketball. It looks like it's just a job to him, and that's not good enough when you're trying to win championships. And so I definitely understand where the animosity is coming from, or why the chemistry hasn't been built. And, LeBron James is not too far from retiring, so he definitely needs all the confidence, all the players, everything to be clicking for him and all the stars to align for him to flourish and win. And the only way he's going to be able to do that is if he can get the best out of every player on his team. And that's the problem. Russell Westbrook, you're probably not going to get the best out of him because the best out of Russell Westbrook at this point, or even in his past, wasn't good enough to win a championship. So LeBron made a mistake. It's okay. But, the Lakers are trying to make up for it and get all they can and, try to, put themselves out there as much as they can and try and acquire pieces. But it's just really tough when you don't really have nothing to negotiate with, or at least you don't have nothing to negotiate with that anybody wants. Anthony Davis is injury prone. LeBron's old as hell. And Russell Westbrook looks like he's washed. And on top of that, he looks like he doesn't even want to play basketball half the time because he looks like somebody at a recreational gym rather than somebody who actually made it to the NBA based upon last year, what we saw. So, the Lakers are in a tough situation. It could be worse, but at the same time, hopefully for them, it only gets better from here. Hopefully they're able to acquire somebody else and get some other pieces in there because it looks like they're going to be stuck with Russell Westbrook. And it looks like that, Kyrie is not coming no time soon. So, the Lakers are in a real, peculiar situation because they don't have pieces that anybody really wants, that people see as any value. And the one piece they do have in LeBron James, he's even losing value over time because his age is a problem. You see what I'm saying? I don't care how good LeBron plays. His age is a problem. So, it's a tough battle for them, tough uphill battle. But, hopefully for their sake, they find a way to, be better and find a way to be more competitive this year with the team that they have. Hopefully Darvin Ham can push them in other ways. And if they get a player like Cam Reddish and a couple other players to come along with them on the team, then maybe that will make them a little bit of a better team. At least make them a play-in tournament team. I can't imagine them not at least making the play-in tournament 2 years in a row. That would be just unfathomable to me. But at the same time, it can happen because Russell Westbrook's on the team, Anthony Davis is on the team, and hey, LeBron's the dude stuck in the middle with one guy that gets hurt and the other guy who doesn't get hurt but can't play the game to a high level. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what trades come about. But as of right now, they're stuck with Russell Westbrook and they're stuck with their roster and they're stuck with a rookie head coach that's saying all the right things, but saying the right things and doing it is two different things. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.